day, beautiful people. Top of the day, the trouble. All right, beautiful people. How many of you guys spotted the new moon last night? I know y'all seen my video. I'd be too excited. Anybody else get a chance to spot the new moon? I know my sister saw it in Newport News, Virginia. My mom saw it in Augusta, Georgia. I saw it here in Chesapeake, Virginia. I know some people was kind of cloudy, but we actually saw it. Shalom, shalom, Mom. She came in. So, anybody else see the new moon? It was pretty cool. I was so hoping that all the clouds was going to move away, and they did. They saw, here's what's crazy, right? This was crazy. They started, and I posted a little video about the chemtrails too. They started spraying. I noticed, well, they'll spray during the day and during the night, you know. But when I started noticing for a while that they had been spraying at night, I'm like, okay, what's the purpose of that? But it also covers up the moon. A lot of time you will see they spray heavily at night when it's close to a full moon. You know, just taking stock of what's happening in the skies and stuff, right? Paying attention just to see if there's anything out of the ordinary, right? So I posted the video last night before I actually spotted the new moon, and they were outside spraying, and the chemtrails were starting to spread across the sky. I'm like, see, this is what I be talking about. I said, Father, please let these chemtrails move fast out the way. And by the time we got out there to look, it was nice and clear. Not a chemtrail even close to the moon when she appeared and showed herself, right? So I was excited about that. But let me tell you something. What this cycle has taught me is, let me tell you, technology is good. And it's good in its own rights. And it'll help you stay on course. But let me tell you something. We definitely, when Yahuwah say we need to get out there and we need to sight it with our own eyes. We need to get out there and sight it with our own eyes, because if we don't and we come to rely on the technology, which is created by man, which could have flaws in it, we could be pushed off, right? We could be pushed off, and we could be pushed back a day, possibly 2 days, because on both the apps that I had that I recommend, I said, remember I said, I didn't say the 100% correct. I said up to this point, I said they've been mostly accurate from what I've seen in the sky, you know. And I'm gonna still use them, but what I'm looking for now is to see if they actually adjust it based on actual sighting of the moon. So that's what I'm looking at now, to see if they actually go back and adjust. I'm not sure about like the previous months, if they made adjustment. I mean, I guess I could tell if I actually go back and look based on what I wrote down and stuff. But I checked this morning and it hadn't adjusted this morning, you know. So I'm looking for that, just to see if they make updates, or how often they make updates to what's actually presenting itself in the sky. So, but we had it based on what the app said, and as we were following it, it said that we would have seen it Wednesday night, the 13th, and we was out there looking, and we didn't see it. I was like, well, did we miss it? Did we get out here too late? You know, but it was like, we didn't see it, so we're going to keep watching. And I got up online and looked, and not too many people saw it, but it was like 2 people that had said they sighted it. You know, it was one in Hawaii, and they actually did an explanation. I'm not sure. I wasn't in Hawaii, but they said it normally happens like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Okay. You know, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't live in Hawaii, so I can't really tell you. So I'm like, okay, so that's why when I saw those, but everybody else, like everywhere else over the world, said that they didn't see it. I don't know how that works. That, like I said, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they was lying. Maybe it was something true. I can't say which one it was. But we didn't personally lay our eyes on the moon until last night, January the 14th, 2021. And she appeared, let me tell you something. The reason why I get out of my truck and I'll go when I can't see over my house, because I understood something about the Book of Enoch. So, and at that time when I was looking, I was like, oh, wait, where did the moon go? You know, and I was like, wait, the moon seemed like it's disappearing from a spot. at certain times. But then I once maybe I'm missing something, so I go back to Enoch, and sure enough, the moon at certain months, she follows a different course from the sun. So she won't rise in the same place where the sun is. She'll appear in different gates. And so when I realized that, I was like, oh, so maybe that's what's happened. And then once I realized that, I was like, okay, so let me get out here in my truck and drive around. And sure enough, I found her. I don't have to normally drive too far. I'd say within about where I live, I would probably have to drive out from my house to see like different angles of the sky. And I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I say different angles of the sky because if I'm in my house, I'm facing east. But if I get on the expressway and go through town, if you have a compass out, you'll notice the direction changes, to keep track of where you are. And so say if I'm at my warehouse, the sun looked like it rises from the back of my warehouse. If I was standing facing both the direction of my house and my warehouse, it's weird, So that's why I got out and went around. I said, okay, maybe it's like a different gate. So when we found her, we didn't have to go too far from the house this time. Matter of fact, we were still like in the neighborhood, but we realized that it was back over here behind the house where we would normally see her. Of course, clearly when she was set with the sun. So after the sun sets, when you're spotting her, she was set just about an hour afterwards. So you only have an hour, maybe an hour. Last night we only had like 31 minutes exactly. Almost like 31. Was it like 31 minutes? No, I'm sorry. No, that was the first night. It was like 50-something minutes last night, and we caught her. As soon as she appeared, well, at least, I ain't gonna say as soon because it could have been a couple more, but we were looking and I spotted her at 5:42 p.m. And right around the corner, we saw her in the sky, and I was like, there she is, there she goes. It just appeared. I was like, yes, let me record a video. I spotted her with my eyes. I recorded. Y'all seen the video. I was super excited, But yeah, so learned a very, very valuable lesson. If we're supposed to get out, if Yah says get out there and look with your own eyes, now we can keep the technology, but let us do our due diligence and make sure that the electronic version of whatever we're using hasn't made a mistake. And we clearly saw a mistake in the app. So get out there and look. If it's not cloudy where you are, you will get to see it, So what I had to do, and it also taught me another lesson. Do not, because let me tell you, this is about we only in January, right? And so I was like, oh yeah, this pretty good. So I went through and I started marking off the days. I said, this is going to be a Sabbath, this is going to be a Sabbath, this is going to be a Sabbath. The new moon is going to fall here. And I had did that based on us sighting the new moon supposedly on the 13th. So now my whole book, starting from the month of January, is completely thrown off. I got Sabbath days written on wrong days. I'm like, I can't believe I did this. Pam, you knew better. Why would you stand here and mark up the whole 2021 year and I got the wrong Sabbaths in here? Clearly, also what we'll know is that because they should, I don't know, it could, but we'll see. Now I'm really watching the dates of Passover closely now just to make sure, right? Because the dates could possibly be wrong now. At least it possibly could be off by one day. So I'm going to keep watching. Y'all keep watching with me, and I'm going to be watching it closely. But what I also realize is that the last month, the 10th month, because today we start the 11th month. The 10th month is a long month, right? So the transition days of the moon are long. Get some white out. I know, right? And I ain't got none. No white out strips or nothing. I'm going to have to get some, right? But then I thought about it. It don't matter if I see if I go back and look in the next couple years over this, this was the year where I was presumptuous. I could see my mistake. I don't think I want to completely white it out. But even if I white it out, I'll see that I've whited out. But what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to just mark an X through everything, And I like to do this so I can see how I grow over the years. And I realize, and now it's a reminder to myself, don't ever do that again, that's why it's like I'm still learning as I go, y'all. So if I get some stuff wrong, don't drag me too bad, because I'm still learning, just like y'all still learning. But when I realize I made a mistake, I will come back and say, "Ooh, I screwed up, y'all. I'm sorry." So I definitely need to say this, because I know some of you have made your work schedules based on what I have been telling you about the 13. And when I caught it day before yesterday on the 13th, like, "Ooh, wait a minute, we gotta still watch." So I do apologize. I'm sorry, y'all. So if y'all have made y'all schedules and made the Sabbath days, taking the Sabbath days off for this current moon cycle on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays, you need to make adjustments if you can. Father, forgive me. Give them grace if you have, and I'm sorry, y'all. So forgive me. Like I feel like crap. So that taught me a huge lesson, because I don't want to lead anybody astray. So the Sabbath for this moon cycle will not be on Wednesdays, y'all. It will be on Thursdays, okay? So also proof that we've cited the new moon last night. The proof of that is, here's how you can know. In any other month, I'm telling you, witnesses, Yahuwah always leaves his witness in the sky. There's always a way we can prove our theory, so to speak. Right now, we know that's not a theory, but for the sake of conversation, the very next day, we will see the moon in the sky. So once the clouds clear up and the sun is out, whatever, we should be able to see the moon. That sliver that we saw last night, she should rise in the sky, because she's just going to keep gaining her light. So that's how we know, and we can be certain. You should be able to see if the sky is clear and everything. You will see the moon in the sky. That's our proof that we indeed did sight the new moon the night before. And that when we see her today, it's new moon day. It begins the count of, this is the first time during the day that we see the moon. That's why the count begins, because on the day, the first day that she's light in the sky, new moon day. So it begins our count, day 1, all the way back around. And when we get to the Sabbath, we'll realize we'll be at a Thursday again, right? Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'll keep repeating it as we learn and over the weeks and stuff. So as you guys, you get out there, if you decide to get out there and actually observe with me, I'm really praying that you are get kind of interactive, because if I miss something, somebody will catch me like, "Wait, Pam, hold on, go check this out. I saw this. I live here in like my mom, I live here in such and such place, or I live in Atlanta, Georgia, or I live in Kankakee, Illinois, or I live here in Newport News, and this is what we saw." So take pictures. I know I'm gonna figure out how to post pictures here on YouTube, because I see people do it, making posts and posting pictures. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough subscribers to do that, but I looked at a couple things, but I would like to post some of those pictures and stuff. If not, I guess I'm gonna just have to do a video with the compilation of different pictures and post it that way, so I'm able to figure out how to do that, But take pictures of what y'all see in videos, the things that we're learning, because what it does, it boosts our faith in knowing that the manual that we have in our possession, the word of the Most High, even though a lot of pieces are scattered and a lot of pieces have not been canonized, it further gives credits. It further gives credit that these words are true. Just like the Book of Enoch, it's beyond me how some people say that the Book of Enoch is heresy. Seriously, it's beyond me, because that's how I learned how to track these things. When I see proof in the sky, I was like, oh no, this is all true, so. But all right, y'all, so that's that. I just wanted to touch on that for a couple minutes before we got started. But anywho, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. We walked into the bowl tonight trying to find it too. Did y'all see it, Dana? Yeah, I know where y'all live at. Y'all, I don't know, because I don't know, Dana. Okay, so based on the food line, if y'all stay back there, because when we rolled past there, we saw it right here. So you guys should have been able to see it from, if you were, I'm thinking about y'all neighborhood, the area of y'all neighborhood. Okay, so if food line is right here, and we saw it right here, if you turn this way, I guess I don't know how y'all come out y'all house, but you would have to look in the direction of the going to the expressway to the food line, and I'm thinking that's where you would have saw it at last night before she said. But normally I'll see it right here. I could just come out my front door and see. But I actually have to drive around. That's how, when I realized that sometimes she rises and set in different gates throughout the year, different months throughout the year. I was like, okay, I can't just stay at my house. I need to kind of go out a little bit just to see. And I don't 100%, I ain't even going to say 10% have down which gates are where. I'm still learning that. There's different gates, and that's what I'm still trying to learn. So I'm like, okay, based on where I live at now, okay, so during this month she rises here, so this is a gate. This gate is different from this gate. I don't know what the gates are numbered or how they're labeled, but I can clearly tell here's a gate here and here's a gate here, based on like the streets and neighborhoods and stuff, so I'm still learning. It's like this map is being formed in my mind for where I currently live at. So it's really kind of fun, and it's fun to have the kids interact and stuff too, because they be just as excited. And I think it's really fun to have kids around, because they'll go out and look for the moon. They say, "Mom, the moon is out." But the way they scream, sometimes they scare me like something is wrong. Like they be say, "Mom," I'm like, "What? What's wrong?" She said, "The moon." I'm like, girl, if you holler my name like that one more time, you scared the piss out of me. I thought something was wrong. So it's kind of fun having the excitement and the innocence of little children while we're learning about this as well. I'm like, oh, Father, may I be that joyful and that excited about all your words and your creation. I don't ever want to grow familiar with the things of the Most High, even if it's simple as nature. I don't ever want to grow like familiar and just begin to overlook it like, yeah, that that's just a tree, or that's just a plant. It's like I always want to be in awe of his creation, and not just nature, but also as human beings, as we develop and change. And it's something amazing to watch. Okay, y'all, since I'm looking at the 12 Patriarchs of Levi, tells you who will be unsealed. You know what? I'm going to go. I've read that before. Matter of fact, I've listened to it a couple times. But I'm going to go back. Thank you, Aliyah. I'm going to go back and I'm going to reread that. Matter of fact, I actually have it saved, so I'm going to go back and read it with fresh eyes now that I've been, over the last couple of days, some of the information I've been getting. But thank you for that. I'm going to make myself a note real quick. 12 Patriarchs. I'm going to go through all of them. That's something good. I posted here for y'all, those of you guys that don't know what that is. Peace and blessings. Greetings, Nikki. The 12 Patriarchs. That's something good. You know how when the forefathers passed away, they blessed all their children, like right before Jacob passed, he blessed all his children. Same thing with his children. Right before each of one of them passed, they also blessed their children. And before they bless them, they tell them about their life and what transpired over their life, how they were blessed and how they were cursed with some of the stuff they did, and if they turned away from the Most High, and what he allowed to happen to them. And he blesses his children and tell them, don't walk in those ways. And but it is really good. They're really short. Excuse me, you can probably read all 12 in one sitting in about, I'd say maybe 30, 40 minutes or whatever. But I'll post that today. I'm going to also listen to it again today. Okay, so y'all, happy Friday. It is January the 15th, 2021, day 51 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 720. Guys, today we're reading Exodus 25, 26, and 27, and we're going to hop over in here to the legends of the Jews. And we're going to start off with this section that tells us about how Yahuwah punished Moses for his stubbornness. Okay, so let's start with the Shema, which is found in Deuteronomy chapter 6 at verse 3. Read the entire chapter, y'all, so y'all can get everything. I just pulled kind of out the meat of it, but read the whole chapter. Take it in. Let it become a part of you. Live it. Hear, therefore, Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah, the God of our fathers, has promised us, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our God, he is one God. And you shall love Yahuwah your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in your heart, and you shall diligently teach them unto your children, and you shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuwah our God, as he has commanded us. Okay, y'all, so go ahead and hop over here to Exodus chapter 25. Okay. And Yahuwah said to Moses, I can't even see that. Okay. Yahuwah said to Moses, tell the people of Israel to bring me their sacred offerings, accept the contributions from all whose hearts are moved to offer them. Here is a list of sacred offerings you may accept from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine linen and goat hair for cloth, tanned ram skins and fine goat skin leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the lamps, spices for the anointing oil and fragrant incense, onyx stones and other gemstones to be set in the ephod and the priest's chest piece. Oh, y'all. Oh, if I start talking about this, okay. Once we get to that, I was going to start talking about the Urim and the Thummim. Okay, we'll talk about that later when we actually get to that. But just notice that we'll talk about that. Let me stay focused. Have the people of Israel build me a holy sanctuary so I can live among them. You must build this tabernacle and its furnishings exactly according to the pattern I will show you. Have the people make an ark of acacia wood, a sacred chest 45 inches long, 27 inches wide, and 27 inches high. Overlay it inside and outside with pure gold, and run a molding of gold all around it. Cast 4 gold rings and attach them to its 4 feet, 2 rings on each side. Make poles from acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the poles into the rings at the side of the ark to carry it. These carrying poles must stay inside the rings. Never remove them. When the ark is finished, place inside it the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant which I will give to you. So what we know based on this, that wherever the Ark of the Covenant is hidden at, and remember, the last person who laid eyes on it is the prophet Jeremiah. You don't find that in a regular book, but you find that in the book of Maccabees. When they were destroying Jerusalem, Yahuwah told the prophet Jeremiah to take the ark. Matter of fact, he had a host of men with him, but the men didn't see. Yahuwah told Jeremiah to take the ark and put it inside the cave, but exactly where, like he was the only one that laid eyes on it last, and then as it caved in or whatever, it was buried so that no other nation could get their hands on it. And they have been searching for this, but what we know is, in the whole point of me saying all that, is an original copy of what Yahuwah gave to Moses is still in the ark this day. So that's all I wanted to say about that for now. When the ark is finished, place it inside the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant which I will give to you. Then make the ark's cover the place of atonement from pure gold. It must be 45 inches long and 27 inches wide. Then make 2 cherubim from hammered gold and place them on the 2 ends of the atonement cover. Mold the other cherubim on each end of the atonement cover, making it all of one piece of gold. The cherubim will face each other and look down on the atonement cover. Their wings spread above it, they will protect it. Place inside the ark the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant which I will give to you. Then put the atonement cover on top of the ark. I will meet you there and talk to you from above the atonement cover between the gold cherubim that hover over the ark of the covenant. From there I will give you my commands for the people of Israel. Then make a table of acacia wood, 36 inches long, 18 inches wide, and 27 inches high. Overlay it with pure gold and run a gold molding around it. Decorate it with a 3-inch border all around and run a gold molding along the border. Make 4 gold rings for the table and attach them at the 4 corners next to the 4 legs. Attach the rings near the border and hold the poles that are used to carry the table. Make these poles from acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Make special containers of pure gold for the table, bowls, ladles, pitchers, and jars to be used in pouring out liquid offerings. Place the bread of the presence on the table to remain before me at all times. Make a lampstand of pure hammered gold. Make the entire lampstand and its decorations of one piece, the base, center stem, lamp cups, buds, and petals. Make it with 6 branches going out from the center stem, 3 on each side. Each of the 6 branches will have 3 lamp cups shaped like almond blossoms, complete with buds and petals. Craft the center stem of the lampstand with 4 lamp cups shaped like almond blossoms, complete with buds and petals. There will also be an almond bud beneath each pair of branches where the 6 branches extend from the center stem. The almond buds and branches must all be of one piece with the center stem, and they must be hammered from pure gold. Then make the 7 lamps for the lampstand and set them so they reflect their light forward. The lamp snuffers and trays must also be of pure gold. You will need 75 pounds of pure gold for the lampstand and its accessories. Be sure that you make everything according to the pattern that I have shown you here on the mountain. Okay, let's go to Exodus chapter 26. Make the tabernacle from 10 curtains of finely woven linen. Decorate the curtains with blue, purple, and scarlet thread and with silky embroidered cherubim. These 10 curtains must all be exactly the same size, 42 feet long and 6 feet wide. Join 5 of the curtains together to make one long curtain, then join the other 5 into a long curtain. Put loops of blue yarn along the edge of the last curtain in each set. The 50 loops along the edge of one curtain are to match the 50 loops along the edge of the other curtain. Then make 50 gold clasps and fasten the long curtains together with the clasps. In this way, the tabernacle will be made of one continuous piece. Make 11 curtains of goat hair cloth to serve as a tent covering for the tabernacle. These 11 curtains must all be exactly the same size, 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. Join 5 of these curtains together to make one long curtain and join the other 6 into a second long curtain. Allow 3 feet of material from the second set of curtains to hang over the front of the sacred tent. Make 50 loops for one edge of each large curtain. Then make 50 bronze clasps and fasten the loops of the long curtains with the clasp. In this way, the tent covering will be made of one continuous piece. The remaining 3 feet of this tent covering will be left to hang over the back of the tabernacle. Allow 18 inches of remaining material to hang down over each side so the tabernacle is completely covered. Complete the tent covering with a protective layer of tanned ram skins and a layer of fine goat skin leather. Let me tell y'all something. I know a lot of people, when they go and they start reading like this, the details of the tabernacle and also the genealogies, they just kind of zone out. I would implore you not to zone out on these things, because I used to do the same thing. But as I began to research some stuff, these things became very important, because it helps you to piece some pieces together. And you may not get it the first couple times you read through, but I'm just saying it behooves us to really pay attention to these parts too. And also with the building of the tabernacle and the Levitical priesthood, some of the requirements, it goes into a lot more detail here in the Legends of the Jews that we're going to get to. But I'm just saying, a lot more that we didn't understand, that we just kind of guessed on throughout the years in church and stuff, that we didn't understand. It's in there, and it I'm just telling you, it makes you see the bigger, it helps you see the bigger picture. Make crossbar. Wait, I'm sorry. I think I skipped the whole section. Okay. For the framework of the tabernacle, construct frames of acacia wood. Each frame must be 15 feet high and 27 inches wide, with 2 pegs under each frame. Make all the frames identical. Make 20 of these frames to support the curtains on the south side of the tabernacle. Also, make 40 silver bases, 2 bases under each frame, with the pegs fitting securely in the bases. For the north side of the tabernacle, make another 20 frames with their 40 silver bases, 2 bases under each frame. Make 6 frames for the rear, the west side of the tabernacle, along with 2 additional frames to reinforce the real corners of the tabernacle. These corner frames will be matched at the bottom and firmly attached at the top with a single ring, forming a single corner unit. Make both of these corner units the same way. So there will be 8 frames at the rear of the tabernacle, set in 16 silver set in 16 silver bases, 2 bases under each frame. Make crossbars of acacia wood to link the frames, 5 crossbars for the north side of the tabernacle and 5 for the south side. Also make 5 crossbars for the rear of the tabernacle, which will face west. The middle crossbar attached halfway up the frames will run all the way from one end of the tabernacle to the other. Overlay the frames with gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars. Overlay the crossbars with gold as well. Set up this tabernacle according to the pattern you were shown on the mountain. For the inside of the tabernacle, make a special curtain of finely woven linen, decorated with blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and with skillfully embroidered cherubim. Hang this curtain on gold hooks, attach it to 4 posts of acacia wood. Overlay the posts with gold and set them in 4 silver bases. Hang the inner curtain from clasps and put the Ark of the Covenant in the room behind it. This curtain will separate the holy place from the most holy place. Then put the Ark's cover, the place of atonement, on top of the Ark of the Covenant inside the most holy place. Place the table outside the inner curtain on the north side of the tabernacle, and place the lampstand across the room of the south side. Make another curtain for the entrance to the sacred tent. Make it of finely woven linen and embroider it with the exquisite designs using blue, purple, and scarlet thread. Craft 5 posts from acacia wood, overlay them with gold, and hang the curtain from them with gold hooks. Cast 5 bronze bases for the posts. Okay, last chapter for the day in Exodus chapter 27. Using acacia wood, construct a square altar 7.5 feet wide, 7.5 feet long, and 4.5 feet high. Make horns for each of its corners so that the horns and altar are all one piece. Overlay the altar with bronze. Make ash buckets, shovels, basins, meat forks, and fire pans, all of bronze. Make a bronze grating for it and attach 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. Install the grating halfway down the side of the altar under the ledge. For carrying the altar, make poles from acacia wood and overlay them with bronze. Insert the poles throughout the rings inside the altar. The altar must be hollow, made from planks. Build it just as you were shown in the mountain. Guys, and something that I'm going to explain to y'all in the coming days is how our body represents the temple. Like some of you may know, but actually understanding some of these things now and how our body is constructed and where the most holy place resides, guys, it's good all day long, right? Man, it's just, whew. I don't know, this just gets good. Our spirit, Yahuwah, his spirit in us resides in the most holy place. Man, okay. Then make the courtyard for the tabernacle, enclosed with curtains made of finely woven linen. On the south side, make the curtains 150 feet long. They will be held up by 20 posts set securely in 20 bronze bases. Hang the curtains with silver. Oh my gosh, I just thought about something. I just thought about how Yahuwah said that his altar should be made of earth, right? His altar should be made of earth, just like us, like we are made of earth. I'm gonna get sidetracked if I go in and start explaining all this today, but we're gonna get to it, y'all. They would be held up by 20 posts set securely in 20 bronze bases. Hang the curtains with silver hooks and rings. Make the curtains the same on the north side, 150 feet of curtains held up by 20 posts set securely in bronze bases. Hang the curtains with silver hooks and rings. The curtains on the west end of the courtyard will be 75 feet long, supported by 10 posts set in 10 bases. The east end of the courtyard, the front, will be 75 feet long. The courtyard entrance will be on the east end, flanked by 2 curtains. The courtyard on the right side will be 22.5 feet long, supported by 3 posts set in 3 bases. The curtain on the left side will also be 22.5 feet long, supported by 3 posts set in 3 bases. For the entrance of the courtyard, make the curtain that is 30 feet long. Make it from finely woven linen and decorate it with beautiful embroidery in blue, purple, and scarlet thread. Support it with 4 posts and securely set it in its own base. All the posts around the courtyard must have silver rings and hooks and bronze bases. So the entire courtyard will be 150 feet long and 75 feet wide, with curtain walls 7.5 feet high, made from finely woven linen. The bases for the posts will be made of bronze. All the articles used in the rituals of the tabernacle, including all the tent pegs used to support the tabernacle and the courtyard curtains, must be made of bronze. Command the people of Israel to bring you pure oil of pressed olives for the light, to keep the lamps burning continually. The lampstand will stand in the tabernacle in front of the inner curtain that shields the Ark of the Covenant. Aaron and his sons must keep the lamps burning in Yahuwah's presence all night. This is a permanent law for the people of Israel, and it must be observed from generation to generation. Okay, beautiful people. So that is our reading from the book of Exodus today. That was Exodus 25, 26, and 27. And let's go ahead and hop over here to the legends of the Jews. I seen a whole lot of activity going on over here. I ain't want to get sidetracked. Was y'all asking me questions? I think y'all just talking amongst yourselves. Hold on, let me just double check. Okay. Oh, so I was freezing. It's buffering. Sister, they messing up the live with buffering it. Oh, man. Is it still buffering? Oh, that sucks. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. If it's messing up too bad, y'all, I'm going to have to just delete the live and I'll re-upload it from the video from YouTube because, reload it with the video from Facebook. Facebook never really gives me issues at all. Okay. Oh, okay, Mama said she wasn't having any issues on her end. Okay, we'll see. I'll watch it afterwards. Okay, for those of you that have the book, we are on page 227. If you have the smaller book where the page numbers are different, it's the section in volume 2, Moses punished for his stubbornness. All right, beautiful people. Let's start. Okay. Okay. In spite of all these safeguards, Moses was not... Okay, so just a quick recap. Remember, Moses is at the burning bush, and Yahuwah is speaking to him, and he's telling him he wants to use him to deliver his people from Egypt. He said, why you gonna use me? He said, you sending me to a bunch of murderers, So Yahuwah goes on to begin to explain to him that if Moses doesn't go, he doesn't have anybody else that he can use on the earth to deliver his people. I'm like, ooh, wow, So that's where we stopped at yesterday. Okay, and he also was saying that no matter what, that Yahuwah was going to be with him. the entire time. Okay, so Moses is still kind of, he's leery, he's scared, so that's where we left off. So the section is called Moses Punished for His Stubbornness. In spite of all these safeguards, Moses was not yet ready to accept the mission of Yahuwah, Yahuwah wished to impose upon him. He persisted in urging his fears, saying, But behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken to my voice. For they will say, Yahuwah hath not appeared unto you. And Yahuwah said unto him, What is that in thine hand? And he said, A rod. And Yahuwah said, Thou deservest to be castigated with it. If thou didst not intend to take my mission upon thyself, thou should have said so in the beginning. Instead, thou didst hold back thy refusal until I revealed to thee the great service of the ineffable name, that thou mightest know if the children of Israel should ask thee concerning it. And now thou sayest, I will not go. What Yahuwah just said, he said, listen, of course Yahuwah knew all this was going to play out, but he's holding conversation with Moses. He said, listen, he said, all this time, you had in your heart that you wasn't going to go. Why didn't you tell me that at the beginning before I revealed to you my ineffable name? If it was in your heart that you wasn't going to go, why didn't you just say that from the beginning? We could have been spared this entire conversation. But Yahuwah know how it's going to play out, but he's holding this conversation with Moses, right? He's getting Moses to think. Listen. I'll go back up. And Yahuwah said unto him, What is that in thine hand? And he said, A rod. And Yahuwah said, Thou deservest to be castigated with it. If thou did not intend to take my mission upon thyself, thou should have said so in the beginning. Instead, thou did hold back thy refusal until I revealed to thee the great secret of the ineffable name, that thou mightest know if the children of Israel should ask thee concerning it. And now thou sayest, I will not go. Now therefore, if thou wilt not execute my charge to thee, it will be executed by this rod. It was my wish to distinguish thee and to make thee my instrument for doing many miracles. But thou deservest a punishment for having suspected my children of lack of faith. Now Yahuwah know that Israel be committing shenanigans, right? But he stands for us. He will take, he's going to discipline us, but he's also going to stand for us, right? Because he can see the end from the beginning. He know if ultimately we are going to turn from our wicked ways. And if we are, he exercises grace and clemency towards us before we even get to that day. Blessed be the most holy for him seeing the end from the beginning. Oh my gosh. Okay. It was my wish to distinguish thee and make thee my instrument for doing many miracles. But thou deservest a punishment for having suspected my children of lack of faith. The children of Israel are believers and sons of believers, but thou wilt show thyself of little faith in thy career, as thou followest the example of a slanderous serpent, so thou shalt be punished with leprosy, wherewith the serpent was punished. Yahuwah now bade Moses to put his hand into his bosom and take it out again. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous, as white as snow. And Yahuwah bade him put his hand into his bosom again, and it turned again as his other flesh. Which apparently mean he had darker flesh, right? In order for his hand to come out white and leprous, he would have to been of a dark skin tone, right? And he had some kind of melanin in him, because it went in black and came out white. He said, look, all right, and put it back in there, and it changed back to the rest of the color of his body. I mean, just in case nobody really paid attention to that. And Yahuwah bade him put his hand into his bosom again, and it turned again as his other flesh. Beside being a chastisement for his hasty words, the plague on his hand was to teach him that as the leper defiles, so the Egyptians defiled Israel. And as Moses was healed of his uncleanliness, so Yahuwah would cleanse the children of Israel of the pollution that the Egyptians had brought upon them. May the Most Holy be blessed forever and always for cleaning us. The second wonder connected with the rod of Moses likewise conveyed a double meaning, in that it pointed to the coming of the redemption of Israel and taught Moses a specific lesson. At the bidding of Yahuwah, Moses cast his rod on the ground, and it became a serpent, to show him that when he traduced Israel, he was following the example of the abusive serpent, and also how to show him that the great dragon that lieth in the midst of the rivers of Egypt, though he was now hacking into Israel with his teeth, would be rendered harmless like the rod of wood, which has no power to bite. And again, through the third miracle he was bidden to perform, Yahuwah conveyed to Moses what would happen in the latter years of his own life. The sign he gave him was to make known to him that before the water came, blood would flow from the rock at Meribah, when Moses should strike it after uttering the hasty, impatient words that were destined to bring down death upon him. For 7 days, Yahuwah urged Moses to take the mission he desired him to execute. He resorted to persuasion that the heathen might not say that he abused his power as the ruler of the world, forcing men to do his service against their will. But Moses remained obdurate. He could not be won over. He said, "Thou doest a wrong unto me in sending me to Pharaoh. In the place of the Egyptian king, there are persons that know how to speak 70 languages of the world. No matter what language a man may use, there is someone that understands him. If I should come as thy representative, and they should discover that I am not able to converse in the 70 languages, they will mock at me and say, Behold, this man, he pretends to be the ambassador of the Creator of the world, and he cannot speak the 70 languages. Also, don't we know, who was it? Joseph. Yeah, Joseph. Remember when he came before Pharaoh, all the stuff he had went through, and Pharaoh had the dream. And remember, they said, oh, he's an Egyptian, he can't. Remember, we talked about the stairs. Matter of fact, the video that I did was ascending the 70 steps. That's what I labeled that video. Yes, Aliyah Joseph. I labeled that video a few weeks ago, ascending the 70 steps. So if you weren't present for that video, go back and watch that, and you'll see how that's a normal thing. If you going to talk to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's throne set high, it set like on this pillar of 70 steps, and you can only ascend the throne based on how many languages you knew. So if you only knew 2 languages, you could only come up to the second step. And everybody in there knew what that represented. So and each step that you stepped on as you ascended the throne, you were to address Pharaoh in the language. Every step, you were to address Pharaoh in a different language. If you knew the 70 steps, people would almost bow to you. All the 70 languages, and you could ascend and literally speak face to face with Pharaoh. And that's what Yahuwah sent the angel to do for Joseph in the dungeon the night before he was brought out, to clean himself up and come present himself before Pharaoh to see if he could interpret the dream. And it was at this point, after he ascended the 70 steps and he addressed Pharaoh in every language of every nation at that time, and he met with him face to face, and he said, oh, there will be no one else mightier in my kingdom. I'm putting my kingdom in the hands of a Hebrew slave. So, and everybody was in shock and awe, right? So, okay, just in case you didn't understand about that. So, but if you didn't watch that, go back, or you can read it in the book. Just go back to that part, or just pop up the video, because the video will give you the reference where that is found. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but it's there. It's in that video. The title is Ascension of the 70 Steps. Okay. I'll never forget that video. Okay. If I should come as thy representative, and they should discover that I am not able to converse in the 70 languages, they will mock at me and say, Behold, this man, he pretends to be the ambassador of the Creator of the world, and he cannot speak the 70 languages. To this, Yahuwah made a reply as follows. Adam, who was taught by none, could give names to the beasts in 70 languages. Was it not I that made him speak? Moses was not yet satisfied. He continued to urge objections, and he said, O Lord of the world, thou wouldest charge me with the task of chastising Egypt and redeeming Israel, and I am ready to be thy messenger. But is it seemly that a man should execute 2 errands at once? Nay, my Lord, for this 2 men are needed. Yahuwah made answer and said, Moses, I know well whom thou hast in mind with thy request, to be thy companion in the mission I assigned to thee. Know therefore that the Holy Spirit hath already come upon thy brother Aaron, and even now he is awaiting thee on the way to Egypt. And when his eyes rest upon thee, he will rejoice. Furthermore, Yahuwah spake to Moses, saying, When I appeared unto thee for the first time, thou wast meek and did hide thy face, not to see the vision. Whence cometh now this effrontery of thine, effrontery of thine, that thou address me as a servant, as his master? Thou speakest too many words by far. Perchance thou thinkest I have no messengers, hosts, seraphim, Ophanim, ministering angels, and Merkabah wheels to send to Egypt and bring my children thence, that thou sayest, Send by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. In sooth, thou deservest severe chastisement. But what can I do, seeing that I am the master of mercy? It just make you melt all over the place, right? When you hear the words of the Most High, right? Okay. Let me just read that again. In soothe, S-O-O-T-H, like soothing. In soothe, thou deservest severe chastisements. But what can I do, seeing that I am the master of mercy? If thou escapest unpunished, thou owest it to thy father Amram, who rendered great services in behalf of the preservation of the Israelite people in Egypt. But Moses replied, O Lord of the world, I, a prophet, and the son of a prophet, obeyed thy words only after much hesitation. I cannot expect Pharaoh, a wicked man, and the son of a wicked man, and the Egyptians, a disobedient people, and the sons of a disobedient people, to give ear to my words, O Lord of the world. Thou dost send me to Egypt to redeem 60 myriads of thy people from the oppression of the Egyptians. If it were a question of delivering a couple hundred men, it would be a sufficiently difficult enterprise. How much severer is the task of freeing 60 myriads from the dominion of Pharaoh? If thou hast called upon the Egyptians to give up their evil ways soon after they began to enslave Israel, they might have heeded thy admonitions. But if I go and speak to them now, after they have been ruling over Israel these 210 years, remember we talked about this, right? They was in hard labor, 210 years. They sojourned 430. But we also read a portion where Yahuwah said that it began with the birth of Isaac, right? To add up all the time, right? Okay. But if I should go and speak to them now, after they have been ruling over Israel these 210 years, Pharaoh would say, if a slave have served his master for 10 years, and no protest has made itself heard from any quarter, how can a man conceive the idea of suddenly having himself set at liberty? Verily, O Lord of the world, the task thou puttest upon me is too heavy for my strength. Moses said furthermore, I am not an eloquent man, nor can I see of what avail words can be in this matter. Thou art sending me to one that is himself a slave, to Pharaoh of the tribe of Ham, and a slave will not be corrected by words. I consent to go on thy errand only if thou wilt invest me with the power of chastising Pharaoh with brute force. To these words spoken by Moses, Yahuwah made reply, Let it not fret thee that thou art not an eloquent speaker. It is I that made the mouth of all that speak, and I that made men dumb. One I make to see, another I make blind. One I make to hear, another I make deaf. Had I willed it so, thou hast been a man of ready speech. But I desire to show a wonder through thee. Whenever I will it, the words I cast into thy mouth shall come forth without hesitation. But what thou sayest about a slave, that he cannot be corrected by words, is true, and therefore I give thee my rod for Pharaoh's castigation. But Moses still stood his ground. He raised other objections. His grandchild, he said, it's like he trying to do everything he can to get out of this. He said, okay, so what about his grandchild, right? So it's just like, Moses, come on, man, let's get on with this. The children is ready to roll out of Egypt, right? But Moses, and I be thinking about this, y'all. I be like, okay, Father, so we clearly know that we, in this last great deliverance, we know that you coming, our deliverance draweth nigh. So I'm sitting here thinking, I said, could we be like at one of these moments where whoever you're using for this great deliverance, remember, whoever the deliverer is, based on what I understand, y'all, don't drag me too bad. I'm just everything. I'm still trying to put all this together because we still here. I'm like, okay, what do we miss? I said, could we be at a point where Yahuwah is talking to the people he going to use at this time? Because remember, at this time, all of Israel was in one place. He didn't have need of many people, right? He only needed one. They were all there in one central location. And here, this is my theory. This is my theory behind this. I'm not saying this is written in scripture or anything, but based on what I've learned, this is my theory. Because now we're scattered to the four corners of the earth, there is at least, at the very least, going to be 4 Moses. I'm not saying it's going to be 4. It could be more. It could be 1. I'm just saying, right? Based on what I personally understand, right? So I'd be wondering, I was like, okay, could we be at this moment where Yahuwah is holding conversation with the ones he would use for this great deliverance from this captivity? And is they having conversation like, Father, why would you choose me? I'm like, are we at that time? Like, we just kind of hanging, like, we just here until they finish having this conversation with Yah and they get enough strength and be like, okay, as you will, let's do this. I'm like, are we at one of those points? I'm like, I don't know, but those are my thoughts. I just wanted to share that with y'all. Like I said, I'm not saying that is actually what's going on. I just like to run through every possible option that I understand at this moment. But that's it. That's all, y'all. Okay. But Moses still stood his ground. He raised other objections. His grandchild, he said, is closer to a man than his nephew. Nevertheless, when Lot was taken captive, thou didst send angels to the aid of Abraham's nephew. But now, when the life of 60 myriads of Abraham's lineal descendants is at stake, thou sendest me and not the angels? When the Egyptian bondwoman Hagar was in distress, thou did dispatch 5 angels to stand by her, and to redeem 60 myriads of the children of Sarah, thou dost dispatch me. Like what he's saying, from our understanding, that would seem like, okay, so yeah, I'm not quite getting this, y'all. Why would you send angels at all these other lesser events? Like one person, you send like hosts of angels for them, but now when a host needs to be delivered, you want to send one little old me who's not even immortal. Like I'm a son of the dirt, the son of the earth, like flesh and blood. You want to send me? Yeah. So that's what Moses is doing, right? Okay. When the Egyptian bondwoman Hagar was in distress, thou did dispatch 5 angels to stand by her, and to redeem 60 myriads of the children of Sarah, thou dost dispatch me. O Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him who thou wilt send in the days to come. To this Yahuwah answered, saying, I said not that I would send thee to Israel, but to Pharaoh. and that one whom thou made mention of, I will send to Israel at. Oh, listen to this, y'all. Listen, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Matter of fact, Aliyah brought up the question about Elijah and Moses. Listen to this. Listen. Okay, let me go back up. O Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send in the days to come. To this Yahuwah answered, saying, I said not that I would send thee to Israel, but to Pharaoh, and that one whom thou made mention of, I will send to Israel at the end of days. Elijah will appear before them that great and terrible day. If Moses refused to do the errand of Yahuwah, there was a reason. Yahuwah had revealed to him the treasures of the Torah of wisdom and of knowledge and of the whole world's future. Now he beheld the inner chamber of Yahuwah's rows of scholars and judges interpreting the Torah in 49 different ways as they sat in the court of hewn stones. And they saw, besides, Rabbi Akiba explaining the meaning of the crowns upon the letters. Then said Moses, I don't care to be God's messenger. Let him rather send one of these great scholars. Then Yahuwah ordered the angel of wisdom to carry Moses to a place of myriads of scholars, all interpreting the Torah and all making use of the formula. This is the halakha revealed to Moses on Mount Sinai. Now Moses recognized that even the greatest scholars of future generations would be dependent upon him. Aren't we reading the words that Yahuwah entrusted to Moses to give to us for all generations? He's talking about us. We were dependent upon him at this time that he would give this to us. Because when we went into this last captivity, it was going to go with us. Although it being ripped apart and scattered and torn, and we have a piece here and a piece there, it was appointed that thou shouldest be priest, and Aaron should be the Levite. Because thou hast refused to execute my will, thou shalt be the Levite, and Aaron shall be priest. A punishment that did not fall upon Moses personally, but upon his descendants of all whom are Levites. As for himself, he performed a priest's service in the temple. Moses had said to Yahuwah, Thou hast been speaking to me now these many days. Nevertheless, I am still slow of speech and of a slow tongue. For this he received another punishment. Yahuwah said to him, I might change thee into a new man and heal thee of thy imperfect speech. But because thou hast uttered such words, I refrain from curing thee. And right there, we are going to stop, my beautiful people, because we had an hour and 2 minutes, and we'll pick this back up tomorrow. And that was just one section. So we're going to stop right there. We're going to leave it right there at that, right? Okay. So yeah, he had some great points, but it's like, okay, my points, they don't even weigh into comparison what Yahuwah want to do. Apparently, if he asked me to do this, he done already looked ahead and he done figured out how all this is going to play out, you know. So you said, so does that mean Aaron knew the 70 languages of the world at that time? I'm not sure. It doesn't mention that he did. It's possible. It's possible. It's greatly possible based on what transpires. It really is. But I can't point to and say yeah or nay. I definitely know Moses did. And I would have to say Aaron did too, now that I think about it. Because if Aaron was the one to speak, I'm based on what I know, I'm gonna say yes. We don't read that, but based on what happened and what Yahuwah said to Moses and him wanting to bring in Aaron and speaking to Pharaoh, I would say yes. Right, stop his own blessing for not be obedient. Man, I'm telling you. Okay, y'all, so quick recap. It is Friday, January the 15th, 2021, day 51 of reading through the books of the law and prophets, which is year 3 and of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 720. We started off reading Exodus 25, 26, and 27, and the Legends of the Jews. We was in volume 2. We started at page 227 all the way to 229. Put this in here. All right, y'all. 221. All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed the reading today. I'm gonna remember to post the thing about the 12 Patriarchs so you can read. I'll put the video and the link just in case you're working and you can't read it, but you can listen to something. You can listen to it. It's a really, if you listen to it, it's a quick listen. I think it's about 30 minutes maybe. I could be wrong. But I also put the link in there to read as well. So if you get some time to actually put it up, you can read it. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and do the blessing, which is found in Numbers chapter 6. Okay, y'all remember the first 21 verses in Numbers chapter 6 is the Nazirite vow. And the blessing starts at verse 27 all the way to the end of the verse. It starts at verse 22 all the way to the end of the chapter, verse 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his son, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people. So, I'll just double check for anything else. You have questions here on Facebook. That was crazy about the steps and the languages. Yes, I know. Y'all got, if y'all missed that, y'all gotta go. Remember, video. Put that, did I put up here? Okay. I'll post that video too. Just in case y'all can't find it on my channel. But it's there. It's not that far away. Steps. I'll post it in the description in the comment section today too. That way it's easy to find. Just go click on it. Okay. You're welcome, Nikki. All right. Let me check over here real quick. Okay, y'all just talking amongst yourselves. Okay, beautiful people. Oh, again, Aliyah, thank you for being a watchman on the wall yesterday. I saw the comment, and when I read it, I immediately like, okay, is this a real person? Is this somebody who trying to throw me off of my square and stuff? I did when I saw it because it was like 3 comments back to back, and that last one kind of threw me off. I'm like, okay, this has nothing to do with this. I'm like, and I did look at it, but I'm like, I ain't gonna pay any attention. But I did respond to her. I didn't know if it was a real person or just somebody, like, you know, just somebody there just to be ignorant or whatever, just trying to find a way in. But I'll okay. But I did. That thought came to me, and I'm like, okay, I need to be careful, you know, because I'm not for people drawing me into fruitless conversations. I'll see it, and if it seems to me that you're sincere about the question you're asking, I'll answer it, you know. But if I start seeing foolishness, I'm gonna cut it off, you know. So, but yeah. So again, thank you for that. All right, y'all. So that's it. Love you all. I'll see y'all. Remember, Saturday, since it's the weekend, 7:30. We'll be here live, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, beautiful people. Love you.